Is it?
We had a conversation, and she became one of my first ever investors off the back of that.
See your social media, it's easy to see who's in the team. They're so prominent.
Yeah, people that are after quick returns and stuff, I just told them to just fuck off and go to crypto and stuff like that, man. Like, this is gonna be ready in literally a few weeks.
And if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go fast, go together.
Like, properties, it requires a different mentality.
New YouTube series. Boy, this one should be, yeah, mentoring my younger self. That's the idea of this series, right? And I think it's gonna be powerful for a few different reasons. It's gonna be value packed as well, and it wasn't even my idea. So one of my mentees, right, Jehu, he's a serious hustler, and he didn't force me to mentor him, but he reached out on a couple of different platforms and then said that this would be a good thing to even document, obviously, his journey, and taking him from someone who doesn't know anything about property to someone that can make money in property. So yeah, it will be good. It will be good. It will be cool for you guys to see like some of the behind the scenes stuff. You can get your own value from what I'm sharing with him in terms of the gems and the lessons that I give him. And yeah, ultimately just see him grow and yeah, man, turn things around. So I think it will be powerful. I know it will. I'm about to grab him now from the train station. I'm gonna take him down to site, and yeah, man, just yeah, this series is born, like it's being born right now. So yeah, you lot enjoy. Grab your popcorn, grab your flipping pen, notepad, whatever you need, whiteboards, yeah, and enjoy this. Still, this is something that I would have wanted to watch myself when I started. So yeah, anyway, we'll see where we take this. We'll see where we live will take this.
Yo, bro got nicked in the team with a brick. Just giving tree in a bit. Man, it's broke with the same for twos.
Yeah, man, you see those types of deals, like the ones that I'm doing there, those HMO deals, sourcing fees on those typically you can get like 5 to 6 grand.
So I can source that kind of deal.
If you know enough to, yeah. So if you know exactly, one, how to identify them by figuring out if you can create enough rooms, that's the first thing. 2, stacking your numbers, so making sure you factor in all of the costs that are involved. 3, that's pretty much it. Still, once you can identify them, you know, figure out how many rooms need to be in there, blah blah blah. You know, like the planning side of things, that it's not an article for what it would take to create the 6 rooms, like how, if you need to extend at the rear, the side, go into the loft, all of that type of stuff, the numbers as well. So factoring in the finance costs, all of the fees involved and whatnot, and you know how to calculate the commercial valuations as well, then you'll be in a very strong position, a very, very strong position. But the majority of sources don't know how to source these types of deals because they haven't done it themselves and they don't know what goes into it, you know, because it's very different from like a flip. With a flip, it's all based on like bricks and mortar. If this house sells for this, next door sells for that, this is how much this house is worth. That's how bricks and mortar stuff works. With commercial stuff, they base it on how much rent the house produces. Like, it might sound a bit weird and a bit more technical, but once if you can grasp that, then you can start to look at sourcing these types of stuff. But knowledge first. Like, you need to understand how it all works. The problem that people make is that they rush into trying to source these types of things, not knowing what goes into it. Then they just rub themselves out because let's say if an inexperienced sourcer tries to bring me a HMO deal and it doesn't stack and it doesn't make sense and they're claiming it does, I instantly write them off because like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. So get the knowledge first, understand it. Once you do, you can start to look at sourcing that type of stuff. So start to look at the numbers aspect, so how to run numbers as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's a fundamental, it's a key fundamental. People overcomplicate sourcing and stuff, but it ultimately boils down to two things. Can you identify good opportunities? If the answer is yes, cool. Can you make them stack? Can you actually run the numbers? Because if you can do those two things well, I promise you, bro, like you can become a good sourcer. Like there's nothing stopping you from being good at deal sourcing, but people just fail to get good with those two concepts. Theory's one thing, practical's another. Practical's another still. So the sooner I can get you out into the world doing things, the faster and the more you'll ultimately grow. Because like me teaching you and stuff like that is good. It's the foundational stuff, but you learn more by just jumping out of the plane and learning how to build that parachute on the way down. Still, it's the best way. It's the best way. So I think after this next upcoming week, I'm gonna give you the requirements of one investor and see how you do. See how you do, what you manage to bring back, and then you can go from there. Because that would allow me to identify where your gaps actually are in terms of what you need to improve on to continue to develop on your skill set. Is there something that you're leaning more towards in terms of what you like when it comes to looking at properties and stuff? Like what do you find naturally easy?
Finding it is the hardest part. I think tagging it up is so easy because you literally gave me like the different prices. So I find that very easy because it's literally like assisted, innit?
Yeah.
But finding the actual property is probably the hardest part for me because when I go on places like Rightmove, I go through 20, 30, I don't find one that's actually very good. I might find one where the plastering is a bit off, but the rest of it's fine, so why am I gonna go for a half job?
I get what you mean. But that's another thing as well. So with what do you call it? So with these types of houses here that I develop, so the HMO stuff, they don't always need to be in the worst condition ever, because a lot of the value add comes from creating the extra rooms, not from necessarily modernizing it, if that makes sense. So when I'm looking at, these are HMO conversions I'm talking about specifically, I'm not concerned with the quality of the house per se. I'm also concerned with the size of it and how much space I can add.
So size, that sounds crazy. Size does matter.
Pause.
I can't believe I said that.
Nah, but
It's a big factor though, isn't it?
But like I said, it all depends on the strategy, because if my strategy was a straightforward flip, then that's where the condition of the property matters a lot. But in my case, because I'm looking at HMO conversions, I know that I'm going to get the commercial valuation on the back end. So I'm just concerned with what's the size, how much space can I add, and if it ticks those two boxes, it has a big enough size for me to get enough rooms, I can extend it, like there's enough space in the garden for me to extend, and the refurb costs coming at a certain amount, the purchase price is this. If there's still enough in the deal for me to pull at least like 80% of my money out, then I'm happy to take it on. So that's why I don't overly look at the condition. But this is what I'm explaining to you now. It's like it's more intricate, higher level stuff. Like I wouldn't say overly concern yourself with it now, because you're still getting comfortable with the foundational things that you need to understand, right? But as you learn more, as you get more comfortable and confident with different things, that's when you can start to look at these different types of deals and these different aspects of it. But for now, just get comfortable looking at different houses, running your numbers as well. Those are the two key things.
Okay. But do most investors know what strategy they want to go for?
Yeah, 100%. If they don't, that says more about them. They're just a waste of time.
So the investors, no investors just have money and they're just looking to invest in something, and you have to deal with everything. There's not really any investors like that.
You're always gonna find types of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want investors that are serious, that are ready to actually pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promise you, there's time wasters out there. Right? I had one particular investor one time, and this is the reason why I don't really make sourcing a thing. Because like you have to, in any type of pursuit, you're gonna encounter problems. And with sourcing, one of the problems is finding investors that are actually on it. You know, because people talk a big game, but when it actually comes to backing their chat, nowhere to be seen. I had one investor said, I'm looking for this, and this. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So if I find you this type of property that you can do this to, that has this level of return, that requires this amount of investment, you buy it. He was like, yeah. I was like, cool. By way of God, I don't know what it was. Someone reached out to me on Instagram. They just happened to have a deal that fit, right? So I double checked it myself, made sure it's stacked and everything. Bro, it worked, bro. Gave it to the investor. Then he just ghosted. Like he just stopped replying. I was thinking, what's the matter with you? Like, you've got people like that. Then there was another investor I tried sourcing for. They were unserious as well. And then that's when I just kind of took my foot off sourcing, because you get a lot of time wasters.
Okay.
But the more experienced you become, you get better at being able to suss those out that are time wasters from those that are actually on it. And one of the easiest ways is by getting people to just pay like a sourcing deposit, or like half a sourcing fee up front. Because then, like, once someone's paid, they're leveraged in.
They have the incentivized
Bro,
to this,
exactly. Like, they have to follow through. You know what I mean? So yeah. So to come back to your point, are there investors that don't know what they want? Yeah, there are, but you don't want to be dealing with those types of people, because those types of investors will just fall for anything. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'd like that, I'd like this, and then not pull the trigger on anything.
For someone like me who just started out, would you recommend? Obviously, we all need to find our own investors in our own pace. Would you recommend the person documenting them, learning how to deal source, as well as?
Bro, the main issue I see, because 99% of the property people I see, their content is shit. I'll just keep our buck with me. Their content is shit, because there's no personality behind it. It's like, it's almost robotic, and it's just like, you see it everywhere, right? The best types of content creators are those that can infuse a story into the content, and to make the viewer feel like, right, like, I actually know this person. And that's part of the reason why I became so prominent. One, because I'm like young and black in it, and then two, I didn't shy away from the fact that I'm young, black, like I'm from Woolwich, I'm from Ends. Like, I just made all of this a part of my USP, and I didn't try to, like, come across as someone I'm not. So just by being real, talking about your actual story, and being consistent, bro, you'll put yourself ahead of most people, because most people don't have the confidence to come in the net and actually be vulnerable and speak about their story.
Okay.
So if you can do that, bro, you fly.
Is there anything you remember struggling with when you first started out that that was quite prominent for you?
Struggling with in what sense? Like when it came to content specifically, or just life?
Let's go content, yeah.
Content, bro, like, yeah, I'm a natural introvert, like naturally kind of shy person, innit? Like I don't like speaking. Like, people around me know that I do not like speaking whatsoever, especially with things I was doing at the time and stuff like that. Yeah, like coming on the net was like wrong. So getting past that was a big thing. But I'm someone that once I start doing something, like, I hyper fixate on doing it. So when I started with the content, I just made it. The goal was for me to just start. Once I start, I know that I can do it. So I just made it as easy as possible for me to start, so that I could keep up the momentum and just doing it.
What's one of the things that you did to make it easy for you to start?
Bro, so I didn't try and do like YouTube type stuff, speaking to the camera or whatever. I literally just posted photos, just posting photos. That's it, because it's easy to take a photo, post it. So what I did, the first ever thing I posted was of the art that I bought in it. So I posted like a slideshow of that. Then the next thing I did was that I did like a voiceover. So rather than speaking to the camera, which seems quite daunting, I filmed like a bunch of stuff, B-roll. Then I spoke like a voiceover to my phone.
Okay.
And that was what helped me overcome like the stage fright of making content. So that would be my advice to you. If you're naturally afraid of wanting to make content, the goal is to just make it as easy as possible to start. Once you start, use the momentum to just keep on going.
In terms of finding your first, obviously your family were your first investors, but in terms of finding somebody outside of your family,
it wasn't my family, by the way. It wasn't my family. I'm just saying that typically family members are people's first investors.
Who were your first investors? Friends?
Mine was, so that girl I mentioned from LinkedIn, and then one of my friends' parents.
Okay. How did you go about did they already trust you when they first came towards you? Did you have to do a bit of convincing?
No, bro. Like it was quite effortless, though.
Okay.
That was natural. So it's kind of like speaking to a woman. Yeah, like the more you try and force it, the more off-putting it is. Like it's meant to just be natural, and that's what it was. Getting my first few investors, it just happened naturally.
Okay.
So there wasn't much convincing that I needed to do, because they already knew me and they already liked and trusted me. You just need to tick those three boxes. Someone needs to know, like, and trust you. That's it.
Okay.
Once they do, it's easy to get their money.
For someone who's not particularly likable, what do you think? What tips would you have?
Well, the first thing is to address why you think you're not likable.
Okay.
And then that's the first step, is to become self-aware. So why aren't you actually likable? You need to look in, and once you've identified that, you need to get to work on becoming more likable, working on that character trait that makes you not likable. A good book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Very, 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 very easy to get people to like you once you've read a book like that, because ultimately building connections with people is finding a common ground, right? Leveraging humor, and just not being too divisive and polarizing. Really, that's what it boils down to. This is flipping Ben. So How to Win Friends and Influence People, that book, bro, that book is 30 still. That book is probably 30.
Also, what you read when you started doing property?
Not even that, even before I was in property, like I read it and then I was like, right, like, this book is like, it actually makes sense.
Okay.
It actually makes sense still. So yeah, that's one of the books I read. One thing I've understood from the past few years is the better you can understand different types of people and engage with different types of people, the further you go. And fortunately, like my mum, she basically forced me to go to a grammar school, innit? So one, I grew up in Ends Village, right? But then in secondary school, I was around like different types of people. So very quickly, I basically learned how to adapt to different situations. Like when I'm with the man, bro, I know how to converse. When I'm with other types of people, I also know how to converse. Like people from different aspects and different walks of life. Like I just know how to speak to everyone and relate to everyone. which plays a big part when you know, it comes down to being quote unquote likable.
How would I put this? What about how you put you present yourself? Because I feel like appearance is also a big thing.
Oh yes, it is a big thing, and that's even why I've got a stylist and that, because I'm in the middle of changing like my wardrobe and how I come across and whatnot. Yeah, it's like, what's that saying? Present yourself how you want to be addressed, or some shit like that, right? Now that's not to say that you have to go around wearing a suit and tie everywhere, but if you want to be perceived in a certain way, then you should look the part, especially when you're coming online as well, because optics play a big part. And as much as we don't like to admit it, people judge based on appearance.
Would you say I'm also like attending events?
In terms of what?
Because when I look at your Instagram, I didn't see like a lot of, well, like if I see you on my feed, I don't really see you in like an event, a property event.
That's a good question. Yeah. So there's actually a reason for that, right? Like when I first started, I used to go to a lot, but then what I realized and found out very quickly is that the people that I wanted to speak to, so the people that had done stuff, didn't want to speak to me, right? Because they saw me as just like this young guy, like what value can he give, type of thing. So then after I found that out very quickly, I was like, cool, rather than going to these events trying to speak to people that don't want to speak to me, how can I make myself valuable? And then that's when I just doubled down on what I was doing. And now the same type of people that were brushing me are shouting me like, yo, whatever, blah blah blah. So that's why I don't go to events much. These days I'll only go to events if I see a direct benefit of going, because ultimately that's why people go to events, to connect with people that you want to connect with, to progress further. So if I don't see a benefit from going to an event, I just won't go. Like you've got to be ruthless with your time and your energy and your effort. You've got to be ruthless with it.
Do you think having a team is also a big? Because I saw that your team has a massive presence in your.
Massive.
When I see your social media, it's easy to see who's in your team. Do you get it? Like, they're so prominent.
Team is massively important. It's just like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And as I'm scaling, I can only do so much myself. I need to leverage other people to continue to grow and improve. And having the right people, bro, is make or break, bro, I promise you. Like, I've had to hire and fire a lot of, like, work with people that are just shit. And finding the right person is, bro, it's critical still. It's so important.
For someone who doesn't really know anybody, how do you think they can transform the people they know into the people that they want to know?
Well, you can't change others. Okay. So that's something that will always be out of your control. Like, you cannot change other people for shit. You're better off, one, changing yourself. And then naturally, as you change, if people want to change as well, if people are inspired to change, they will. But never ever try to force other people to change. And in saying that as well, you will naturally grow apart from certain people as you start to elevate and do more things. And then you'll find yourself connecting with other types of people that are on the same type of stuff. It's happened to me, it's happened to Bear, my friends as well. Bear them.
Do you think uni also helped you finding those people?
Yeah, bro, uni, I think I was mad lucky, bro, if I'm being honest. Like, the people that I happened to live with, or the people that I met in first year, bro, the first ever person that I met at university properly was the person that's my business partner right now still. And like we're just on the same type of stuff. It's fucked. Like, it's very, very rare still. So me, him, and 2 of our other guys, we lived in a house, bro. We're all doing the same type of stuff now. We're all posting mad content. We're all like on the whole entrepreneurial type stuff. Like it's fucked in it, and like, being around people like that is mad important still. Mad important. And I met them at uni. So yeah, like people saying don't go uni and stuff like that, I hear it, but at the same time I look at things from a lens of the full picture. I didn't really go to uni to get a job. I went as a means of getting out of ends, 1, so that I'm not around the same type of bullshit, and 2, being forced to be around different types of people. So
kind of change my perspective on uni.
well, I promise you, like it's easy for a lot of people to say like, oh, don't go to uni, blah blah blah, this and that. But for people from a certain background, like when you're around certain shit and you're from a certain era, bro, like you just want to be away from it so that you're not around the same type of people doing fuckeries and even my nigga.
Is it?
Yeah. Hey, I knew that was you, G.
Oh, God, swear to God. Well, go on, man.
I was sad still. Yeah. This is one of my mentees still.
Swear down. You say, bro, you're right, yeah?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You saying what? You busy working?
Yeah.
Shout me out, innit?
Yeah, bro. Social media is powerful, very, very powerful. So people expecting crazy ROIs and stuff, it just shows their lack of experience. Ultimately, like it's one of those things, and that's why in development you can never really get all of your costs accurate from day one, because things always happen. Especially a build of this magnitude, when you're doing so much structural work and extension work like this, it's hard to get the cost accurate from day one.